porch and talked about House of Pain. Days later, I'm a pallbearer. Death is still something that most of y'all scared of. I cried in church, hurt because my buddy was dearly departed, but started to study later that year. Hit the library, intro to Islam books, there wasn't many. There's only one God with no son, no father. You try to tell me different, you son, don't bother. I still see your brother, still see your mother. Tell him to rely on Allah, I know another. They say a family that pray together, stay together. We still get sad when we feel a Mayweather. We still remember the reporters and news trucks driving through our neighborhood trying to make a few bucks. This was the era of the Marilyn Manson middle school shootings in middle America. But you an East Coast hockey cat who love baseball too, punk rock and rap, baggy jeans, long hair, and the Red Sox cat. Show respect to your to adults, never talking smack. I miss you, kid. I should visit your grave more with your older brother in the cold weather. We celebrate life without a drink or two. I work with group home kids and I think of you, and hope they make the right decisions. From gray sky comes blue. This is the life we live in. So what?
Loss is something that all human beings experience. We all have to go at some point. And it's a very inspirational thing. It can stay with you. And sometimes to deal with loss, you put those moments of loss in poetry and poems to reflect on, to remind you of, and to keep you rooted in the straight path. And this piece, much like Yusuf's last piece about a person that really affected me, and I was reflecting back, I think it's been like 16, 17 years since I took Shahada. It's been a little bit of time, mashallah. This brother that passed away, that affected me so much, was one of the people that brought me into the deen. And he died. Both Brother Hakeem and I could speak about him for hours and hours. And one of the most accomplished poets ever heard. One of the most beautiful smiling faces. So this piece is remembering him. I've never performed it before. It's the first time. But these are the words that I've written for him. Memories fade after a while, but never your smile. You were positive vibration personified as a child. A soldier, textbook definition of brother. Love reflects black in the teardrops of your mother. A hugger, blurry vision, tears flowing, open casket, wrapped in shroud, lies this poet. Your lyrical melodies trigger memories. You inspire with thicker beats, fingers, weaponry. You're my teacher, so Arabic. I'm blessed to read, so humble. In prayers you asked us to lead. I stand at your grave, distressed to see. No eye contact with your old earth, the two seeds. Freedom, you were Jonathan, I was George. Your intercession freed my vocal cords to spit. Ashhadu, bear witness to the wali. The reason you became Ismail is the reason I became Ali. A fistful of earth and toss it on your chest. Put my hand on your grave where your shell will rest. I envision the driveway of Sharif's home. I see you with the gun, I want to shout out, you're not alone, but you can't hear me. Ya Haji Labaik, I see you at the gate, Shifa from Ahl Bayt. A red-tailed hawk circles above me in the sky. At your grave every week, because I can't believe you died. Shai Surah Fatiha for all our Muslims. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata al-ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim wad-dallin.
Got a few more pieces before we turn it. We holding on to the Holy Quran brought forth from God and the Psalms of Islam from the fourth Imam. Seek intelligence from Allah to A.L.I. Read the Nabzu Balaga, that's the peak of eloquence. I'm glad that I learned my lessons. My granddaughter dad has returned to the essence. So now we have the earth to rest in. My family reciting the Irish blessing. However, during times of loss, we call upon God with no sign of the cross, the divine force within a visible face. And by the way, paradise is a physical place, but this world is in a miserable state. So repent before death, yo, it isn't too late. Please forgive the sins of the beast within, and I don't care about the color of Jesus' skin. As the internet critics try to rate my song, I'm preparing for a visit to the eighth Imam. My faith is strong, turn towards the face of God, west to east, the beast when the baby born, and I've to get unhated on way back since day one. Before these YouTube dudes got play some, I parlayed the part I played into a bigger role. And I'm talking about a film, how you figure, yo? Spitting flows like the one divine style, cause this is the word power, the rhyme dower, the rap cook bar from the street member. And I watched you grab the mic and all limber. Not Bill Maher or Bill O'Reilly. Turned on the news and knew that they would lie to me. Don't even cry to me, son, because it's useless. If you know the truth, gotta put it in the music. Yusuf. Who cares about New Year's? January was a Roman god. We holding on to the Holy Quran, book of Allah. Trying to put soul in song like Coltrane. Praise the Lord and the love supreme. I love this thing. We changed the whole game. I'm mixing my conscious rap with cocaine, so lame. Do it for the Muslim. God bless the oppressed. I'm a style of fiend. I'm like a phone fiend. Like a rhyme. Build, the real deal. Like a vandal with ill skills. Learn to rhyme from the lyrical giants. Put my trust in God. Now I'm empirical signs, you hear my style. It's not what you used to. You rock like only a few do. You rock like the Juice Crew. Not a bunch of thugs. Broken dreams more dangerous than guns and drugs. Allahu Akbar.
Yusuf Abdul Mateen just came out with A.L.I, the Black Mateen Project, Divine Power Culture, this last February. So please support him in this project. I'm coming out with my new album, 19 tracks, called the A.L.I Manifesto, 5/12, May 12th this year. So stay tuned for that, and you can stay tuned on the website, www.professorali.com. It would be remiss of me to recite poetry on this day and not have a poem about Rachel Corrie. And this past week marked her death. As she tried to protect Palestinian homes from being bulldozed, and the bulldozer crushed her. So this particular piece is dedicated to Rachel Corrie and the images she inspires when thinking about her story. Horseshoes and bulldozers. Assalamu alaikum. I am Rachel Corrie. Human body falls to machinations of the quarry. My story written in blue blood, hidden beneath skin, repeating the heartbeats of civilian Palestinians. A heartbeat is hard to hear over a sound of a motor, even harder over mortar. Shells fall on false borders. A victim of lost orders called a credible case. Joshua Hammer, I saw into the operator's face and he saw mine, waving my arms and hands, screaming, stop. Have you heard the sound of a rib cage when it pops? Is a moving bulldozer louder than human screams, my body folded into earth, prostration yet still breathing, like sounds of 100 iron hooves crushing a boy. The same iron horseshoes hang as good luck ploys, like awesome. I was poised, death is sweeter than honey. My story, erudite since it's printed on American money, not dinars. So you may know Corrie, but not Zainab. The same oppression since repeats, but we must still stay no. No more will human beings be trampled, whether by bulldozers or soldiers, bodies mangled. No more lives fall victim, no more human evictions, no more polarization of black and white friction. I disappear into rubble pile, an orange fluorescent streak, mechanical asphyxiation, their victory and defeat, protesters' memorial. Souls determined, left choked, concussion grenades go off, air thick, diesel smoke. You're like the heartbeat or beat on the chest of Zainab. There is no longer a distant myth or forgotten fable. Through my death, you will learn of the family's name. Inshallah, my blood flows for the blood of Hussein. Salawat. Take you out with a spoken word prayer. Alternatively, some people call it the hip-hop prayer or whatnot. It's an interpretation of one of these remarkable du'as that we have that have come through. And I always, this particular dua had a great effect on me when I was very young. My cats at Islamic in Oakland, friends took me to the center. And they said there was going to be a dua today. And we recited a dua today. I said, okay, well, I sat there and I didn't know Arabic. And I sat there and they brought the dua and there was no translation. And as I was reading this dua, it was Thursday night, the words in the dua affected me so much that I started to cry because I felt like someone had taken my words that were in my heart, had articulated them and put them on paper. And I didn't know, I couldn't fathom it. It was different. It was like my sadness in writing. And, it was like my words to God. And I always loved that, but I always felt like, sometimes with the dua in translation, it's a high-level English, It's like a Shakespearean thou art, that kind of thing. And I kind of just wanted to put it in the simple language, the simple language that you have sometimes. So it's my interpretation of that dua, part one of it, because it's a long dua. And the dua is called Dua Kumail, but I call this Kumail's prayer, part one. 786. Blessings upon the last and the holy household, beseech the one for mercy to encompass all holes upon my dome. I submit to majesty humbled. His might is conquistador for all of our troubles, authority over what the author has written. Names manifest. Power illuminates vision. He is the light, the most holy. And the foremost shall exist after the last. The reason for hope. Forgive my sins committed, and I flip my gravity that transforms into events of calamity, tragedies that remove divine favor, and block supplication, suppressing optimism, and affliction affiliation. Forgive every single sin, every single error. Draw me towards you through my invocation and prayer. I am a beggar submissive, awestruck and in terror, seeker, interceder, any prophet or ring bearer. Make me contented and pleased with your justice and peace. Make me modest, unassuming, upon bended knee. You have what I need. Your kingdom is blessed. Your plan is secret. Your authority manifests. No escape from your dominion or your magnificence. No one else to pardon sin or conceal my decadence. Self-loathing, morph my evil deeds into virtues. Glory to the Most High. There is no God but you. My soul suffers the audacity of my sinful ways. I'm positive to only you belongs praise. My ignorance of reliance on your past remembrance and grace towards I becomes irrelevant.
Family. And so when we want to love, what the Prophet loved, we also love his family as well. And we also take lessons from them. And so much of what we learn as Muslims comes from traditions that are passed down through the family of the Prophet. So that's one of the things that we talk about a lot tonight. A reminder that there's still the CDs up here. I got mine at the top, so I'm taking these home with me, so make sure everybody gets a chance to grab. Yusuf, Abdul Mateen has two. One of his solo albums, and then also the one with his partner, A.L.I, and a group called Black Mateen. And we're also waiting for, we have Professor A.L.I.'s Carbon Cycle Diaries, an album that was released last year. And we're waiting for his new release, inshallah. And one of the things I really appreciate about their music, and I'm a lifelong hip-hop fan. Before I was a Muslim, before I converted to Islam, I listened to a lot of hip-hop. And I actually attribute a lot of what set me on the path to discovering Islam was through things that I used to listen to in hip-hop. A lot of hip-hop, unlike what's very commercially available these days, is very political, is very spiritual, and religious to a certain extent. But a lot of the political messages in Islam, or in hip-hop, are what eventually pushed me and opened my eyes towards the reality of Islam. So what these brothers are doing is doing a great service for the Islamic community. So we have one final video intermission, and after that, we have open mic. Inshallah, we have one volunteer. Inshallah, so if you would prepare, and we'll wait to give him a call, or call him up when the time is right. The last two videos, I believe Professor A.L.I. to come up and introduce a video called Cold Testament.
This song, Cold Testament, is an interesting story behind it. It was the first song that I recorded off this Carbon Cycle Diaries. The idea was one of hope, the idea that an act of kindness can uplift a person, right? One person being kind can affect you and lift you out of your own self-loathing and depression. And it was supposed to be a motivational track, and I remember this is a point, there's a lot of history behind this this particular song, in that I recorded it and I decided not to release it at all. I said, no, I'm not going to release it. And I wanted to get someone else to collab on it with me, and that didn't work out. And people that had heard it, and when I recorded it in the studio, I said, no, it's not that great. And I didn't think it was very good at the time. But at the end of the day, later someone had heard it just in the car, and said, you know, it speaks to something, an emotion that I think you should. So this video just recently, we just recently made this video, and the video is a collage of paintings, different paintings that students have done, and art students have done, dealing with depression, dealing with homelessness, dealing with loneliness, and these are just different paintings. And so it's just basically a slideshow of different paintings, a different type of video here, and the song is about lifting oneself up when things seem very dark and cold.
In the alleyway, let me lift you up. I got a place for you to stay. To all my young cats trying to make a way. Time is tough, I know it's hard to stay straight. You think about the hustle and the paper chase. You're jobless now, but crime doesn't pay. How not to get caught, cause there's money to make. But they won't even look at your resume. Matter of time before you catch a case. Everywhere you go, they close the door in your face. No round two, but it's you versus the state. Let me lift you up. Here's a new workplace, and my man, I can see the gun in your hand. Life is hard and it feels like damn. It might be easier to pull that plan. Just give A.L.I one last chance. So stressed out, you might have forgot. There's cats out here who got love for you out. Come over to my house, let's have that talk. Let me lift you up, I wanna see that chalk. Lift me up, oh, oh, oh. Looking for a sign now. A testament to hope, oh, I can kiss the sky now. Lift me up, oh, oh, oh. Looking for a sign now. A testament to hope, oh, I can kiss the sky now. Young sister, it'll be alright when you left your girl. I know we're burned inside and regret that decision for the rest of this life. Should have stayed and made you his wife. So let your face shine like the treasure you are. People with telescopes cause it measures the stars. Surprise, not all men are from Mars. To me you inspire music like strings of guitar. So like verses and bars, your poetry, hear the beat. Now you flow with me. Remember to be real cause you're a queen. You're not the distraction, you're the daydreams. Or if he calls you a bee, call him a Yazi. His wandering eyes has to do with greed. To him you lost value when you birthed the seed. But you remind A.L.I a thicker beads. Meditate on you and earn good deeds. See your needs. When you thirst I bleed. Balance hell two hearts. Cemetery, your roots are deep, transplant the tree, forget past pains, torment and grief. This song's about relief and also belief. When pain is great, anyone can be the doctor. Through all of life's tests, A.L.I is your proctor. Lift me up, oh, oh, oh. Looking for a sign now. A testament to hope, oh, I can kiss the sky now. Lift me up, oh, oh, oh. Looking for a sign now. A testament to hope, oh, I can kiss the sky now.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period.
All that was love, all that was life, all that was life that needs to have happiness, which we all in our nature seek.
Go get it. Period.
So next and finally, we have the video higher.
A couple of friends liked it and they kind of encouraged me to shoot the video. And we shot it at a live performance that I had done in Boston with M1 from Dead Prez and Shalia Mansour and Mazi and a few other artists. It was a show at House Cities. It was called High Flame.
így most már nem horgani. Nem üdnöm.
I write checks, just preaching the Lord's name. White schools or a season of board claims. Still going forward with the game and the gimmicks. Political arts are lame. I'm taking it to the streets. Yeah, whatever.